Hi guys, this is my update for my Tradescantia Fluminensis Lilac. And I think the last time I vlogged about this particular plant, she was much, much smaller. She is in an 8-inch pot. I did propagate her to make the pot fuller, and this is what she looks like now. She sits in an east-facing window due to there's just a little bit of scorching, and that's from like just the light. I have moved her a foot away and it is getting better, but it's just due to the leaves, because the leaves are a little bit thinner versus the albiflora variety. But even a little bit of scorching, like, it's okay for me, I think, because majority really of the plant is super healthy, so I don't really mind. I think, like, I've always wondered, like, why is this one green? And I always kind of thought it was a different variety, but as you can see over here, it is also a lilac. So sometimes variegated plants are always unstable, regardless of the species of the plant. And when they show more green, it's because they're not really getting enough light. But as you can see, it's scorching, so they are getting enough light. And I'm kind of hoping on the darker months, it won't really scorch as much, but this is just what's going on. She has been growing like a weed for me, and I was kind of stressing out a little bit because like I said, she's just growing really quickly and really bushy. And I'm kind of worried my other plants in that same section is not going to have enough light. So that was my the reason why as well, why I would trim her a lot. But I don't know where to put it if I trimmed her again, if I would propagate. I haven't propagated her in a while. And the only reason I propagated her before was to make the pot fuller. Again, this is an 8-inch pot. I do not see myself putting her in a bigger size pot. I think this is good enough because she grows like a monster. I think that's the beauty of the Tradescantia species, is that they just grow really well if you give them like the proper care, enough light, the type of soil, the watering, the water requirements, and you tick all those boxes on the list, they'll definitely grow really well for you. I would suggest, though, like, if you get clippings in the beginning, I did start with clippings. I would just suggest to just be very, very patient, because they do grow really well, and they can grow really fast as well. I've also noticed with this particular plant, and other Tradescantias, is they love to be root bound. So don't if you want it to be really, really full, I would suggest, even if you don't want it to be very full, I would just suggest to keep it in a very, very tight pot. So let's just say you have like 4 clippings. I would find the smallest pot you can find, like a 2-inch, like a 2-inch diameter, or 3. And when they grow kind of tall, when you can, I would suggest propagate it as much as you can. Fill that pot when it has roots. And when it does have, the reason I always say to separate it is because they have different water requirements. And a lot of people always wonder why their clippings don't really succeed when they put it back in the same pot with a plant that has roots. You have to understand that a plant that doesn't have any roots is trying to grow roots, and it doesn't really have the same requirements and the same system yet as an established plant. So when you mix it there's a huge tendency that they could just wilt or die due to you're not watering it frequently, or not enough, or the established plant is taking too much of the water, or you might be watering it more frequently, that it could actually die as well. So I would suggest always separate the pot, because they just have different requirements. And when they do establish, you can always fill that pot. That's what I have done, and that's what I prefer to do. So what I would do is I would trim it, I put it in a different pot, and once that's established, if I want to fill the pot and make it fuller, I just put it in the same spot. If I did propagate a lot, I can put it in a bigger pot. So you could have, like, because I started with a 6-inch pot, and now it's an 8-inch pot, and that's a huge difference. And I'm going to show you how full it is. Like, just look at how full that is in there. And that is because I just kept on, every time I had a rooted clipping, I would just pop it in there and pop it in there. And now she's just a complete monster because of that. All of my social media accounts are in the description section, just like every time, I'm sorry, every single time I water will also be in the description section of what I add in the water. She sits in an east-facing window, like I said. My issue with her right now is that every time I turn her, I break some of the vines, and that is because it gets stuck on my shelf. I water her once a week, and I don't water in which the water goes through in the saucer. Like, this part right here is always dry. It never goes through there, but I do water her quite a bit of amount because she really is huge, and you have to understand, the bigger the plant, the more water they can actually take, because the more, I mean, their root system is always going to be growing, and so they can actually soak up more of the water. But I still do not water a huge amount of volume that the water goes through the pot, and if it does, I drain it right away. She sits, like, I would say almost 5 feet off the ground, and sometimes I just have to check on like 10 minutes later to see if there's any water going through. But I water her. I've had her for a good amount of time that I do know how much water that she does need per watering. Again, all my social media accounts in the description section, just like what I feed her. And I hope you enjoy my updated vlog, that you're going to hit the like, subscribe, and of course the bell, so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. And I had to put her in my dining table, and my dining table is a little bit messy right now, just so you guys can see how big this plant is. She's huge. This is an 8-inch pot. Look at how big she is. Any questions, anything to do with this particular plant, anything you want to talk about this particular plant, let me know down in the comment section. I love hearing from you guys all the time. Thank you, everyone, for all your beautiful, kind, encouraging words. It means a lot. So thank you so much for all the love and support. Again, thank you for everything. And like, subscribe, bell, social media is in the description section. I hope you want to connect with me in my other accounts as well. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.